Democrats will still meet statewide in Iowa January 15th. There are several changes, though, that Democrats should know about. Democrats won't choose a presidential preference on caucus night. That will be done by mail. Instead, on caucus night, Democrats will meet to discuss party business to send to the state and the national party. Democrats have until February 19th to request a presidential preference ballot to send in by mail. They can request these ballots online or by mail. Dave Dawson, who's the chair of the Woodbury County Democratic Party, says this will create a more accessible caucus.
Presidential preference cards could allow definitely more people to participate who haven't been able to participate in past years because of the timing of the in-person caucus. It also allows people to participate who might not want to get up in public and pronounce their support publicly.
The results of the mail-in presidential preference will be released March 5th, which also is Super Tuesday on the presidential election calendar. For more information to request a presidential preference card for the Democratic Party, check out the story at ktiv.com.